Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm your host, Greg Martin. We have been talking about some of the different programs that are going to be happening during this year's Dive Equipment Manufacturers Association Marketing Association meeting. And every year, NAUI has been really coming to the forefront with a great group of programs that you, as attendees, can take advantage of. And in fact, most of the membership has been asking for these programs. And so here we go. One of the newest things that's been hitting the dive industry has been free diving. Now, as kids, we always used to hold our breath at the bottom of the pool and see how long we could stay down there. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, it became a sport. I'm not quite sure. But we asked one of the people to come on board and talk about that today. Dan Semrad with Oregon Freediving is with us. First off, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Greg. Happy to be on here. Thanks for having me.
Well, sure, of course. Talk a little bit about your thoughts on why freediving is all of a sudden becoming so popular.
Well, I think, freediving actually has been around for a long time. It's like you said, it's been around forever. As soon as people started realizing they could harvest stuff from the ocean, stuff of value, if you go back to the sponge divers or any of these cultures where we started taking stuff out of the ocean, it started becoming an advantage to be able to go a little bit deeper, stay a little bit longer. Modern freediving is kind of a funny story. It actually started, modern, like competitive freediving is pretty young, and it essentially started on a good old bar bet, if you will, where there was a wager, a hefty wager that he couldn't make it to 30 meters and back, and he took that wager kind of saying that either he'd come back a rich man or he wouldn't. And he came back, he got the prize, and after that it became a kind of regular event. So that kind of launched it into people trying to go deeper just for the sake of going deeper and whatnot.
The interesting thing is that eventually organizations like NAUI took notice and said, wait a minute, we need to maybe make some rules here. Is that a good thing or bad thing?
No, I think that's a great thing. In fact, one of the, people often have a perception that freediving is this scary and very dangerous sport and whatnot. And if you look at the accidents, freediving accidents typically happen if there's somebody out solo or untrained, typically doing something like spearfishing. So if you don't have the training and you don't have a buddy, then absolutely you might not be aware of the risks you're taking. But with the appropriate training and safety considerations, it's actually a safe endeavor.
Now, you're certified through NAUI, through the program that NAUI has with PFI. And we talked quite a long time ago, right after that program came about. And that's a pretty awesome program. And so you were like one of the first people to go through that, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think I was the first one to go through, and I agree. I've been super excited about it from the get-go. I started diving as a scuba diver and got into spearfishing, and then spearfishing took me into free diving. And so I on my own had been researching how to progress my training and what my next steps were, and had settled on that PFI was the best. PFI was the way I wanted to go. And right around that same time, I started hearing rumblings and rumors that NAUI was collaborating with PFI. And so from the beginning, I was all in and started getting ready to take advantage of that, I suppose, and be in the right spot when that collaboration came through.
So you're going to be doing a couple of presentations during DEMA this year, and I understand that NAUI members can come out and check out both of those. You're going to be doing two different talks, correct?
I am. I think both of them are on the benefit of bringing freediving into a scuba shop. And so that's one thing that I think is huge. I would love to see more NAUI instructors be able to go through the PFI instructor workshop as well. And I think it reaches a new community, and it adds a lot to what you can offer at your shop.
Also notice, and you can correct me on this if wrong, one of the sessions is actually just going to be tips and techniques on breath hold.
Yeah, that's right. So we will do, I love doing these breath hold workshops, and it blows people away the first time they hold their breath for, multiple minutes and they don't think they can. Because the other thing, some of the roadblocks for people that see freediving and get intimidated, one is they think that looks super dangerous, and two, well, I can't hold my breath for that long. And it's fun to work with people. I've done various events. Just this last year, I went out to one in Hood River, and everything was dry land static. So we go through the basics of breathing and everything else, and we actually right there, and after a half an hour or so of talking about how to breathe and how to do a breath hold, and then going through them, we had guys holding their breath for 4 minutes that had never tried to hold their breath for any duration before.
4 minutes? Are you kidding me? Then, and just from talking about it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and the freediver course that I teach, the NAUI freediver and the PFI freediver, it trains you to hold your breath for up to 4 minutes and dive down to 66 feet. So that's also a fun thing when we have like combo training weekends and we go out. It's kind of fun to have my freedivers going deeper than we can actually take the initial scuba students. And just coming fresh out of the pool where they just did 3 and 4 minute breath holds. It's pretty impressive. It's a lot of fun.
Interesting thought. I'm sitting here thinking about all the years that I worked as a dive master before becoming an instructor, and I spent a lot of time, especially pool sessions, just floating around on the surface of the pool, with just snorkel gear and watching, and every once in a while would have the opportunity to dive down and maybe help correct something. Trying to stay out of the way of instructors. And
Right.
there were times that I thought, gosh, I wished I could stay down here longer to be able to continue doing what I was doing. And in this particular instance, that would have helped me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are plenty of times in scuba training, either myself or my helpers who are trained as freedivers, they might, like you said, they might still be on snorkel gear depending on the pool session and where we are. Even with that, I would throw in the safety piece. Anytime you're holding your breath, there are 2 questions you should always ask yourself, and one is, can I hurt myself? And 2 is, could I hurt somebody else? And so, the story that actually comes from your state, it was maybe a year ago, there was a kid playing the old tunnel game, holding his breath, driving through the tunnel. And he ended up blacking out and causes this car crash. So that would be an example of don't hold your breath while you're driving. But then another thing that we see pretty often, and pools in the area and all over the country are getting more strict, and I suppose for good reason, where they're cracking down on people doing any sort of breath holding. And, we're trying to help get the word out that, under the appropriate supervision and with the appropriate training, breath holding isn't bad. But when you have untrained people without a buddy holding their breath in the pool, that can lead to some bad things.
Sure.
But I absolutely love, being able to have helpers that are trained work and help, even if they're not blowing bubbles in the pool.
So we have the Oregon Freediving Company. You are out of Oregon, obviously, and you are doing both freediving and some scuba instruction, as you were telling me earlier. and going to be doing presentations at the DEMA Show this year. If you don't have your DEMA tickets, you'd best be getting them now because DEMA is coming up really, really quickly. And you want to make sure that you check out the schedule online at NAUI.org and check out to see what of the different programs, sessions that are going on that you need to be attending. Again, Dan will be doing a couple of presentations on freediving, and really looking forward to seeing what you had to offer, Dan.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anybody that's going to DEMA, come on by and we'll play around with holding our breath.
Sounds great, and appreciate your time spending with us here on the podcast this morning.
Absolutely.
All right. If you have questions, be sure and check out the Oregon Freediving Company. They're on the web. It's OregonFreedivingCompany.com.
It's OregonFreediving.com. Yeah.
Okay, OregonFreediving.com. And of course, always check out the NAUI website, NAUI.com, and look for a brand new NAUI website coming very, very soon. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of NAUI's Dive Team Report. Appreciate you listening. I'm Greg Martin. I'll see you underwater.